Hello, everyone. Mello just loves to be in the action. Come on. Hello, welcome to day one of our story. We will be doing, if you didn't catch Snuggle Up Sundays last night or my post this morning, every day during our 10 days off, I will be reading pages from the book Wonder by R.J Palacio. So every day I'll read for about 5 to 10 minutes. Right now I'm going to try it on Facebook Live. I might pre-record it and then post it after. We'll see. And we'll also see what kind of distractions I have. This is Chica. Say hello. And this is Mello. Okay, mamas. Boys and girls, I hope you had a wonderful day and got a head start on some of that classwork that was assigned to you. I hope you got a head start on the principal's challenge this morning. And if you missed it, remember, every day I'll be posting a challenge for you to do, just a quick little activity or an assignment, and during each weekday of our day off. And those of you that have it complete, all 10, when we return to school, and the classwork your teachers assigned, will be in for a special blowout. But I am ready to start reading as soon as I adjust. But again, I hope you all had a wonderful day. I'm sorry for that glare. Let me see what I can do to change that for you. I hope you all had a wonderful day. It was beautiful out. We had a lot of sunshine out. There's a little chill in the air, but it's nice fresh air. No, not successful here. Here we go. All right. So again, our story is Wonder. Now, there was a movie based on this, so I hope you didn't see the movie to spoil it. But if you did, you can compare the difference between the book and the story. We'll talk about it. Let me just read you a quick summary of what the story is about. August Augie Pullman was born with a facial difference that prevented him from going to a mainstream school until now. He's about to enter 5th grade at Beecher Prep, and if you've ever been the new kid, then you know how hard that can be. The thing is, Augie's just an ordinary kid with an extraordinary face. But can he convince his new classmate that he's just like them despite his appearances? All right. So this book, although it is a chapter book or a novel, it doesn't have chapter numbers. It just has a title. So we'll have part 1, and it's called August. Fate smiled and destiny laughed as she came to my cradle. This chapter's called Ordinary. I know I'm not an ordinary 10-year-old kid. I mean, sure, I do ordinary things. I eat ice cream. I ride my bike. I play ball. I have an Xbox. Stuff like that makes me ordinary, I guess. And I feel ordinary inside. But I know ordinary kids don't make other ordinary kids run away screaming in playgrounds. I know ordinary kids don't get stared at wherever they go. If I found a magic lamp and I could have one wish, I would wish that I had a normal face that no one ever noticed at all. I would wish that I could walk down the street without people seeing me and then doing that look away thing. Here's what I think. The only reason I'm not ordinary is that no one else sees me that way. But I'm kind of used to how I look by now. I know how to pretend. I don't see the faces people make. We've all gotten pretty good at that sort of thing. Me, Mom, and Dad, Via. Actually, I take that back. Via's not so good at it. She can really get annoyed when people do something rude. Like, for instance, one time in the playground, some older kids made some noises. I don't even know what the noises were exactly. I didn't hear them myself, but Via heard, and she just started yelling at the kids. That's the way she is. I'm not that way. Via doesn't see me as ordinary. She says she does, but if I were ordinary, she wouldn't feel like she needs to protect me as much. And Mom and Dad don't see me as ordinary either. They see me as extraordinary. I think the only person in the world who realizes how ordinary I am is me. My name is August, by the way. I won't describe what I look like. Whatever you're thinking is probably worse. Chapter 2. Why I didn't go to school. Next week, I start 5th grade. Since I've never been to a real school before, I am pretty much totally and completely petrified. People think I haven't gone to school because of the way I look, but it's not that. It's because of all the surgeries I've had, 27 since I was born. The bigger ones happened before I was even 4 years old, so I don't remember those. But I've had 2 or 3 surgeries every year since then, some big, some small. And because I'm little for my age and I have some other medical mysteries that doctors never really figured out, I used to get sick a lot. That's why my parents decided it was better if I didn't go to school. I'm much stronger now, though. The last surgery I had was 8 months ago, and I probably won't have to have any more for another couple of years. Mom homeschools me. She used to be a children's book illustrator. She draws really great fairies and mermaids. Her boy stuff isn't so hot, though. She once tried to draw me a Darth Vader, but it ended up looking like some weird mushroom-shaped robot. I haven't seen her draw anything in a long time. I think she's too busy taking care of me and Via. I can't say I always wanted to go to school because that wouldn't be exactly true. What I wanted was to go to school, but only if I could be like every other kid going to school, have lots of friends, and hang out after school and stuff like that. I have a few really good friends now. Christopher is my best friend, followed by Zachary and Alex. We've known each other since we were babies, and since they've always known me the way I am, they're used to me. When we were little, we used to have play dates all the time, but then Christopher moves to Bridgeport in Connecticut. That's more than an hour away from where I live in North River Heights, which is at the tip top of Manhattan. And Zachary and Alex started going to school. It's funny, even though Christopher's the one who moved far away, I still see him more than I see Zachary and Alex. They have all these new friends now. If we bump into each other on the street, they're still nice to me though. They always say hello. I have other friends too, but not as good as Christopher and Zach and Alex were. For instance, Zach and Alex always invited me to their birthday parties when we were little, but Joel and Eamon and Gabe never did. Emma invited me once, but I haven't seen her in a long time, and of course, I always go to Christopher's birthday. Maybe I'm making too big a deal about birthday parties. How I came to life. I like when Mom tells this story because it makes me laugh so much. It's not funny in the way a joke is funny, but when Mom tells it, Via and I just start cracking up. So when I was in my mom's stomach, no one had any idea I would come out looking the way I look. Mom had had Via 4 years before, and that had been such a walk in the park, Mom's expression, and there was no reason to run any special tests. About 2 months before I was born, the doctors realized there was something wrong with my face, but they didn't think it was going to be bad. They told Mom and Dad I had a cleft palate and some other stuff going on. They called it small anomalies. There were 2 nurses in the delivery room that night I was born. One was nice and sweet. The other one, Mom said, did not seem at all nice or sweet. They had very big arms, and here comes the funny part. She kept farting. Like, she'd check Mom's blood pressure and fart. Mom said it was unbelievable because the nurse never even said, "Excuse me." Well, the nerve of her. Meanwhile, Mom's regular doctor wasn't on duty that night, so Mom got stuck with this cranky kid doctor she and Dad nicknamed Doogie after some old TV show or something. They didn't actually call him that to his face, but Mom says that even though everyone in the room was kind of grumpy, Dad kept making her laugh all night. When I came out of Mom's stomach, she said the whole room got very quiet. Mom didn't even get a chance to look at me because the nice nurse immediately rushed me out of the room. Dad was in such a hurry to follow her that he dropped the video camera, which broke into a million pieces. And then Mom got upset and tried to get out of bed to see where they were going, but the farting nurse put her very big arms on her to keep her down in bed. They were practically fighting because Mom was hysterical and the farting nurse was yelling at her to stay calm. And then they both started screaming for the doctor. But guess what? He had fainted, right on the floor. So when the farting nurse saw that he had fainted, she started pushing him with her foot to get him to wake up, yelling at him the whole time. "What kind of doctor are you? What kind of doctor are you? Get up! Get up!" And then all of a sudden, she let out the biggest, loudest, smelliest fart in the history of farts. I never thought I'd be reading a book about farts. Here we go. Mom thinks it was actually the fart that finally woke the doctor up. Anyway, when Mom tells this story, she acts out all the parts, including the farting noises, and it is so, so, so funny. Mom says the farting nurse turned out to be a very nice woman. She stayed with Mom the whole time. Didn't leave her side even after Dad came back and the doctors told them how sick I was. Mom remembers exactly what the nurse whispered in her ear when the doctor told her I probably wouldn't live through the night. Everyone born of God overcometh the world. And the next day, after I had lived through the night, it was that nurse who held Mom's hand when they brought her to meet me for the first time. Mom says by then they had told her all about me. She had been preparing herself for the seeing of me. But she says that when she looked down into my tiny mushed up face for the first time, all she could see was how pretty my eyes were. Mom is beautiful, by the way, and Dad is handsome, and Via is pretty, in case you were wondering. Christopher's house. I was really bummed when Christopher moved away 3 years ago. We were both around 7 then. We used to spend hours playing with our Star Wars action figures and dueling with our lightsabers. I miss that. Last spring we drove over to Christopher's house in Bridgeport. Me and Christopher were looking for snacks in the kitchen and I heard Mom talking to Lisa, Christopher's mom, about me going to school in the fall. I had never ever heard her mention school before. "What are you talking about?" I said. Mom looked surprised like she hadn't meant for me to hear that. "You should tell him what you've been thinking about, Isabel," Dad said. He was on the other side of the living room talking to Christopher's dad. "Oh, we should talk about this later," said Mom. "No, I want to know what you were talking about," I answered. "Don't you think you're ready for school, Augie?" Mom said. "No," I said. "I don't either," said Dad. "Then that's it. Case closed," I said, shrugging, and I sat in her lap like I was her baby. "I think you need to learn more than I can teach you," Mom said. "I mean, come on, Augie, you know how bad I am at fractions." "What school?" I said. I already felt like crying. "Beecher Prep, right by us." "Wow, that's a great school, Augie," said Lisa, patting my knee. "Why not Via's school?" I said. "That's too big," Mom answered. "I don't think that would be a good fit for you." "I don't want to," I said. I admit I made my voice sound a little babyish. "You don't have to do anything you don't want to," Dad said, coming over and lifting me up out of Mom's lap, and he carried me over to sit on his lap on the other side of the sofa. "We won't make you do anything you don't want to do." "But it would be good for him, Nate," Mom said. "Not if he doesn't want to," answered Dad, looking at me. "Not if he's not ready." I saw Mom look at Lisa, who reached over and squeezed her hand. "You guys will figure it out," she said to Mom. "You always have." "Let's just talk about it later," said Mom. I could tell she and Dad were going to get into a fight about it. I wanted Dad to win the fight, though a part of me knew Mom was right, and the truth is, she really was terrible at fractions. This is the last chapter I'm going to read for today, driving. It was a long drive home. I fell asleep in the back seat like I always do, my head on Via's lap like she was my pillow, a towel wrapped around the seatbelt so I wouldn't drool all over her. Via fell asleep too, and Mom and Dad talked quietly about grown-up things I didn't care about. I don't know how long I was sleeping, but when I woke up, there was a full moon outside the car window. It was a purple night, and we were driving on a highway full of cars, and then I heard Mom and Dad talking about me. We can't keep protecting him," Mom whispered to Dad, who was driving. "We can't just pretend he's going to wake up tomorrow and this isn't going to be his reality, because it is, Nate, and we have to help him learn to deal with it. We can't just keep avoiding situations that..." So sending him off to middle school like a lamb to the slaughter, Dad answered angrily, but he didn't even finish his sentence because he saw me in the mirror looking up. What's a lamb to the slaughter? I asked sleepily. Go back to sleep, Augie, Dad said. Everyone will stare at me at school, I said, suddenly crying. Honey, Mom said. She turned around in the front seat and put her hand on my hand. You know if you don't want to do this, you don't have to, but we spoke to the principal there and told him about you, and he really wants to meet you. What did you tell him about me? How funny you are and how kind and smart. And when I told him you read Dragon Rider when you were 6, he was like, wow, I have to meet this kid. Did you tell him anything else? I said. Mom smiled at me, and her smile kind of hugged me. I told him about all your surgeries and how brave you are, she said. So he knows what I look like, I asked. Well, we brought pictures from last summer in Montauk, Dad said. We showed him pictures of the whole family and the great shot of you holding the flounder on the boat. You were there too? I have to admit, I felt a little disappointed that he was part of this. We both talked to him, yes, Dad said. He's a really nice man. You would like him, Mom added. Suddenly it felt like they were on the same side. Wait, so when did you meet him? I said. He took us on a tour of the school last year, said Mom. Last year, I said. So you've been thinking about this for a whole year and you didn't tell me? We didn't know if you'd even get in, Augie, answered Mom. It's a very hard school to get into. There's a whole admission process. I didn't see the point in telling you and having you get all worked up about it unnecessarily. But you're right, Augie. We should have told you when we found out last month that you got in, said Dad. In hindsight, said Mom, I guess. Did the lady who came to the house that time have something to do with this, I said, the one that gave me the test? Yes, actually, said Mom, looking guilty. Yes, you told me it was an IQ test, I said. I know. Well, that was a white lie, she answered. It was a test you needed to take to get into the school, and you did very well on it, by the way. So you lied, I said. A white lie, but yes, sorry, she said, trying to smile, but when I didn't smile back, she turned around in her seat and faced forward. What's a lamb to the slaughter, I said. Mom sighed and gave Dad a look. I shouldn't have said that, Dad said, looking at me in the rearview mirror. It's not true. Here's the thing. Mommy and I love you so much we want to protect you any way we can, and it's sometimes we want to do it in different ways. I don't want to go to school, I answered, folding my arms. It would be good for you, Augie, said Mom. Maybe I'll go next year, I answered, looking out the window. This year would be better, Augie, said Mom. You know why? Because you're going into 5th grade, and that's the first year of middle school for everyone. You won't be the only new kid. I'll be the only kid who looks like me, I said. I'm not going to say it won't be a big challenge for you because you're now better than that, she answered. You know better than that, she answered. But it'll be good for you, Augie. You'll make lots of friends and you'll learn things you've never learned with me. She turned in her seat again and looked at me. When we took the tour, you know what they had in the science lab? A little baby chick that was just hatching out of its egg. Ooh, I think we do that in our science class with Mrs. Montoro. It was so cute, Augie. It actually kind of reminded me of when you were a little baby with those big brown eyes of yours. I usually love when they talk about when I was a baby. Sometimes I want to curl up into a tiny little ball and let them hug me and kiss me all over. I miss being a baby, not knowing stuff, but I wasn't in the mood for that now. I don't want to go, I said. How about this? Can you at least meet Mr. Tushman, before making up your mind, Mom asked. Mr. Tushman, I said. He's the principal, answered Mom. Mr. Tushman, I repeated. I know, right? Dad answered, smiling and looking at me in the rearview mirror. Can you believe that name, Augie? I mean, who on earth would ever agree to have a name like Mr. Tushman? I smiled, even though I didn't want to let them see me smile. Dad was the one person in the world who could make me laugh no matter how much I didn't want to laugh. Dad always made everyone laugh. Augie, you know you should go to that school just so you can hear his name said over the loudspeaker, Dad said excitedly. Can you imagine how funny that would be? Hello, hello, paging Mr. Tushman. He was using a fake high old lady voice. Hi, Mr. Tushman. I see you're running a little behind today. Did you get rear-ended again? What a bum rap. I started laughing, not even because I thought he was being that funny, but because I wasn't in the mood to stay mad anymore. It couldn't be worse, though. It could be worse, though. Dad continued in his normal voice. Mom and I had a professor in college called Miss Butt. Mom was laughing now, too. Is that for real? Roberta Butt, Mom answered, raising her hand as if, I swear, Bobby Butt. She had huge cheeks, said Dad. Nate, said Mom. What? She had big cheeks is all I'm saying. Mom laughed and shook her head at the same time. Hey, I know, Dad said excitedly. Let's fix them up on a blind date. Can you imagine Miss Butt meet Mr. Tushman? Mr. Tushman, here's Miss Butt. They could get married and have a bunch of little tushies. Poor Mr. Tushman, answered Mom, shaking her head. Ike hasn't even met the man, Nate. Who's Mr. Tushman? Via said groggily. She had just woken up. He's the principal of my new school, I answered. And that is where we're going to end our story. So, tomorrow, I will pick up with Paging Mr. Tushman on page 15 of Wonder. If you have the book, you should read along with me. I'm looking forward to continuing the book with all of you. As I said, I might pre-record them and then post them for you so you can watch them whenever you're ready. Boys and girls, I hope you had a wonderful day. I hope you got some fresh air. You were able to get some classwork done. Again, if you have any questions or anything that you need, please send me a message. I will be on first thing tomorrow morning with morning announcements. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me, day 1 of our story, Wonder.